All right, and we are live on Magic Mondays. Thank you so much for joining me again on a Monday for some more Magic. We had the DLC stream earlier today. Thanks to my co-host for joining me a bit earlier than usual. So I figured, hey, why not? Let's get to it. We're going to continue the stream. We're going to do some Magic into it. So what I have done, the new core is out. We've played some core on here. I've had a chance to play around with it a bit. I went out and I brought a pre-built, the Planeswalker deck. I got Sorin's Chosen. I've imported it, and that's what we're going to be playing tonight. We are going to be playing some of Sorin mono black vampire deck. So let's get right into it. I've got a red blue spell. So we need to do some red blue spells for my dailies, and then we will get to Sorin. Hope everybody's doing well on a Monday. I'll go right to my spell deck. If I have to use a blue deck, I'm going to use one that I have built. So here we go. This is a pre-built deck as well that I had bought for previous expansion, and I've altered it to fit my own, so to suit myself, to suit how I want to play it. Change it up a bit. Just like I'm going to do to the Sorin deck. Right now the Sorin deck is really nice, but there are definitely some areas where we can improve. So now we're just waiting for an opponent. There we go. We have our first opponent, a Karen. Play the tapped land first. Wait for the turn. Oh, we've got a white deck. Hunted Witnesses on the table. I'm going to play that and play my Electromancer, which instants and sorceries cast by me are cost less, one less mana as long as that Electromancer's on the table. Hopefully they don't knock it out anytime soon. Ooh, white, green. What do we got? We got no other plays. So we'll just drop that down and we'll pass. No attacks. On to the opponent. Hope everybody's doing well for a Monday night. Back to work. The start of the work week, always the greatest. I had a pretty good Monday myself. I can't complain. It was a good day. So, and I'm glad to be here. As always, playing Magic for you. Oh, come on, Karen. Please choose your cards wisely. And they did nothing. Okay, so we'll play the Staticaster. And the next one we're going to play the Erratic Shaman on the next turn. And I'm not attacking. I'm waiting to get some spells out. Or this Hellkite Whelp flying 3/3 dragon. Ooh, Command the Storm. I've got to play that because I need to get that thing off the table. See you later. Rosemane Centaur. And then we will attack because he tapped. 5 to the face. And their turn. One counters. Alright, so I'm going to play the Shaman, the Erratic Cyclops, and then I'm going to play the Dispersal to get that thing off the table, unless they bring out something bigger. Because that will then buff up the Cyclops. To the converted mana cost. So what that is 0/8 right now, but it'll get a buff of whatever that mana cost is. And the Rawl's Dispersal spell costs 5 mana to play. It'll become a 5/8. And I'll be able to kick that thing off the table for 1 turn. That is my plan and my approach. If we're successful, we shall see. We don't know. They could have something else planned for those cards that are currently on my table. Step and counterstep. That's magic. Opponent has a lot of cards in their hand, and I've only got 2. Oh, it's going to cost 1 less. So it's actually 4 because of the Electromancer. Hopefully that doesn't affect the buff the Cyclops gets. We shall see. But it's a good combination. It's the combo of the way to go with this deck. And we're in timeout. They're trying to figure out the next play. Ooh, it's Convoked. No, it just put the counter on that thing, fortunately. So we're going to go... Going to kick that thing off. Going to give it a 5/8. Going to take the action. Going to get Rawl into my hand. Oh, I did not put it in my hand. Whoops. My mistake. But we're going to attack with the Erratic Cyclops and see if they block. Or if they take it. Mistakes were made. And I shuffled my library. But if I can get the Whelp out. Get a flying creature on the board. Just keep poking at them. I can survive a couple hits of that. What are you going to do, Karen? Are you going to attack or are you going to pass again? Must be looking like for some type of combo. Oh, the Dispersal again. Sounds good to me. This time I'm going to keep Rawl, unless they kick it. They do have 2 mana. Not too many green spells that can counter, though. And we're in timeout again. Take action. Into my hand. You're gonna have to block this time. You can't take another 5 to the face. Rawl's coming out on the next turn. Has trample as well, so we get it down to 7. We get the opponent down to 7. Because of that creature dying, it gets a 1/1 soldier with lifelink. But Rawl's coming out on the next step. I'm not killing that thing because it's going to give it 2 elf, 2/2 green and white elf tokens with vigilance, so I'm not killing that. So let's get Rawl out on the deck. On the table, I mean. So far, so good. Just don't like that they've got these 2 things out on the table. The Venerated Loxodon and the Cavaliers. So we're going to roll up to draw an extra card. Ah, and I drew a land. A tapped land. Oh, man. I think I just stalled a bit. So no, I'm not going to attack. And we'll go from that. Uh-oh. That just buffed the person with 4 life as it came in on the board. Nope, I don't like that. I would have played the... Well, but the Wee Dragonaut, it gets a buff if I play a sorcery spell. It's the better play at this point. Gonna roll up again with Rawl. Get another card. Put the Whelp on the board as well. I had enough mana to make both plays. And we're going to wait. We're going to wait. I need Direct Current or another Command the Storm here. Yes, yes, I see it, I see it. I see that they have a land and they've played it. Oh, Healer Hawks on the board. I don't like where this is going. They're getting a lot of creatures out on the board. Oh. Yeah. The tables could turn really quickly here. Oh, I drew another land. I wanted a spell. So they're going to have to come after Rawl now. Oh my god. Just drawing mana all over. Hey, Mr. Matthews, what's going on, man? You're never late. I'm the one that's always late. How are you doing? I just started. Just started like 15 minutes ago. So they've got the Healer Hawk on the board. So let's send the Whelp. Because then I can destroy the Healer Hawk. Oh, Might of the Masses. Uh-oh. There goes the Whelp. Stop, stop! Don't attack, don't attack! Pull it back, pull it back. Attacker was already declared, unfortunately. Ouch. Now I am in trouble. I'm in trouble. That was just for that end of turn, but we'll see if they come after Rawl. I don't have enough to attack. I don't have enough. I shouldn't have gone. I shouldn't have sent him. Shouldn't have sent the whelp. Should have defended Rawl so I could -7. Now they're going after Rawl. Yep. They got the combination they were looking for. Had an early start to this. This quickly turned against me. This quickly went in the other direction. Just attack Rawl. There we go. Coming at him with 3. So I'm going to block 1. Take that. And take that. Let's see if they tap something. They have Fog or Root Snare. Do you have a defensive play in your deck? Looks like you do. Well, I knew the Dragonaut was dying anyway. I'm okay with that. The Halberd out there. -7. Wipe that board. Deals 7 damage to each creature your opponent controls. See you later, board. You get the 2 tokens, and I've got a full board. So what do we got here? What should I play? The Muse Drake. Yeah, let's get some flying in there. I didn't draw 1 instance. I didn't draw 1 instance. And then I will play the Guild Mage as well. And the Fire Urchin. And no attack. Let's see what their play is now. Let's see. After I sacrificed Rawl. I've never gotten to use Rawl's -7 in this game on Arena. Oh, come on. You're killing me. Give me a spell. So we'll give that buff to that thing. Alright. Next to con. And I get to play 1 more Fire Urchin. Quite a wide board right now. Alright, so I'm going to attack with that. I'm going to go with that. With that, and with that. So I'm going to pull that thing back. Because I don't want the League Guild Mage to die. It's only a 2/2. Decisions must be made. How are you doing, Mr. Matthews? Using both timeouts, it looks like. Uh-oh. 6 one-white soldiers. Oh, no. They're going to get buffed up. Big time. That's not good. So I tried joining up with the DLC crew. Yeah, sorry. The stream did not happen on Sunday. It happened today. Oh, I should have drawn a card. The weirdest thing happened, yes. No one was there. The lights were off. Kinda did, but they keep coming back. I just need a spell. I need a spell. I had it. I had the board wipe. I kinda had this and then, oh man. I need a spell. Thank you. Command the storm. Play the whelp. So then I'm going to go with this, this, and that. Why not? No lifelink though. Alright, this is probably going to end in disaster, but I'm going to attempt to eat ramen with chopsticks on the couch. I'm so glad my wife isn't here right now. Do it, do it. You got this. You got this, Mr. Matthews. I believe in you. And they quit because they knew in a couple turns they'd be done. Yes. We got the concede. But no, go for it, man. Sounds like a good plan. And we got through our spells, so now we can get on to what I wanted to play, which is the new deck I bought. I bought the Sorin deck from the new core set. But the other day, imported it today. Here we go. Mono black vampire deck. It's built pretty well, but there's some things I want to change about it already. This card is disgusting. Oh, a 1/1 Death Touch Lifelink Vampire. That's a 1-drop. There are a lot of good cards in this deck. Just too many doubles. Too many like sets of 4 where I'm going to take 2 out of some of them. Not of that one. I'm keeping all 4 of that one. And I'm going to tweak it a bit to get better vampires. A little bit more lifelink. Can never have enough. Not going to waste that. Not going to waste that. Play the Opportunist. Daybreak Chaplain off the top. Yep, a black vampire deck. Straight black. This one here. Bloodthirsty Aerialist. 2/3. 3-drop. Flying. Whenever you gain life, you get a 1/1 counter on it. And there's another one that's a flyer that when your opponent loses life, you put a counter on it. Watch them be playing the white-black vampire deck, though. It's like, no, not on the first matchup. It's Luminous Bonds already? Are you kidding me? Do I want to throw the murderer card out there that quickly? No. Too early, and too small of a creature to put down on that. But I'll do this to kill this thing. Sorin's Thirst, gain me 2 life. Buffs that up even though it's got an enchantment on it. And I don't have enough to do that. So... And I don't want to murder that thing. Fortune never favors the cautious in this game, but I'm going to be cautious. Wait for 1 more mana to come up so I can play a Sorin. This is a card that you can get Sorin into your hand and then shuffle your library, that sort of thing. So yeah, we'll play Sorin's Guide. It's a 5-drop, and I can take the action to find Sorin. And then that's it. Oh, the Gorger. This is the other one that you can buff up. At the beginning of your end step, if your opponent lost life, you get a 1/1 counter on the Gorger. And it's, again, only a 3-drop, just like the Aerialist. That doesn't have Summoning Sickness now, so why not? We'll attack with that thing. With the Guide. It's kind of useless now. Now that it's out on the table, it's just a 4/3. Let's see. Yeah, they've got something. They've got some buff. Yeah, 2/2. They wipe each other. Can't complain about that. Oh, no. No. They used 2 tactical advantages. Really? Oh, man. Should have just murdered that thing. But now I see what I will be really murdering. That Angel. See you later, Angel. So if they don't have any flyers to block it, it buffs itself by causing damage. That card is disgusting. Oh, get out of here. Get out of here. I'm going to -2 on that thing. And that was a bit of a waste. I was hoping they were going to block. I'm leaving Sorin kind of open now. Ooh, 8/7. Not good. And my guy's tapped, so there goes Sorin. See you later, Sorin. Mistakes were made. But if I get a guide, if I get another guide, I can pull him from the graveyard. I need another murder card. Whoop. I didn't mean to go with everything. I did. Need to get that enchantment off of the Aerialist, but I don't have a remove enchantment spell in this deck currently. It's one of my weaknesses. Ouch. Murder card, please. That's not the draw I wanted. I'm going to be dead in 2 turns if I don't get that murder card. Murder card, murder card, murder card, murder card. And don't kill me on this play. Which they very well could. No. Playing Leonin War Leader. So that's going to come at me. So this is it. Oh, we're dead. We're dead. So, well, I'm not dead. I can block once with this. So I'll hold back. And wait. I don't know why they didn't tap that, but hey. I'll sacrifice the Gorger. Did the last comment get held? A black vampire deck. Interesting. Oh, I thought we were already talking about it. Sorry. Sorry, Mr. Matthews. This card's pretty sick as well. Thirsting Bloodlord for a 4-drop. Every vampire you control gets a 1/1. But that's still not going to be enough. That's game over. Good game. On to the next. Really? Why are you enchanting that thing? I'm not blocking. Oh, when it attacks, it taps. Got it. No blocks. Ouch. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. I will try it again, but I will piece it out. It did get held? Okay. I saw... Maybe I missed it while I was playing. Because if I don't approve it in a certain amount of time, it won't show. How's the ramen going? Success or not as well as planned? Acid Burn, what's going on, man? How you doing? I'm playing my new. I bought the mono black Thorin deck from the new core, so that's what I'm rocking right now. Hope you're doing well. I like it, but I definitely need to make some changes to it. After all our snack talk on Friday, I had to pick up some of those salt and vinegar Ritz Crisp crackers. Have you tried those? No, I don't. I don't think we have those, but I want to try them. Sound good to me. You still going to be on in about an hour? I should be. I should be. Yeah, we talked a lot of food on that Friday stream, which isn't a bad thing. Bring out the Aerialist. And go with the attack. Murder! Oh, how dare you. I must respond. I must destroy this person. So we'll play this Nightmare. When a swamp enters the battlefield control, you choose a card and lose 1 life. Dread Presence deals 2 damage to any target. Oh, I wonder which one I'm going to choose. Just got it done driving. I have my kid with me, just sat down to eat. Sounds good, man. Sounds good. No problem. We We need a cat on this one. So that I'm just making invisible footprints. Sounds good. Be back in a few. No problemo. No problem. We will be here. Oh, I'll do that. Bring the aerialist back in. And buff up the opportunist. Bit of a waste, but hey. And we'll attack with the dread presence. Why not? There we go. See you later. When that deck rolls, it rolls. But I definitely need to get a couple more different vampires in there. And something to take enchantments off. Or hexproof. Something to give everybody hexproof. Oh, I'm coming up to where I can win the gems, but I don't have the pay version. I've been pretty good with this core set. I've only bought the one Planeswalker and 2 booster packs. Oh, okay. Weird. Weird. I didn't even see it come up. It wasn't even up for me to approve. So it must have got blocked right away by YouTube. It's probably on the algorithm list of things to block. Vampire of the Dire Moon on the floor right away. And the Blood Burglar finally comes out. So this is a 2/2, 2-drop. And as long as it's my turn, the Burglar has lifelink. So when it blocks, no lifelink. And I'll attack for 1. And a lifelink. I think I've played HN1 a bunch of times. I've played this player so many times. Because even in general play, I think you're matched up with people close to your level. So I have seen this person. We are familiar with one another. But I don't think I've played them before I got this new deck. So, bit of a difference. Now we're talking about crackers and chips. I could go for some snacks. I've been eating terribly lately. Just terribly. After work I went to Costco for a hot dog and an ice cream. All the good food. All the best food groups. Everything processed. Really? I feel like doing damage. I feel like wiping that thing just on purpose. Wipe out my own thing to give myself 2 life. Because I have nothing to enchant. I have nothing to remove enchantment. Sounds familiar. What's that, meat? Eating poorly? Oh, never mind. I found my target for Sorin's Thirst. Either on your stream or on my own, or am I just thinking of Doctor Strange? Oh, my dog is up and drinking water. Oh yeah, Costco hot dogs are the best deal in town. I normally get the hot dog and the French fry and a drink for like under $6. I'm like, yeah, I'm there. I'm in. I'm good. Exactly. Exactly. $1.50 for like $7 of food. Exactly. Like a foot-long hot dog and a thing of fries cost me like $6. Oh, Ancient One, yeah. Yeah, I think we've seen them before. I think we've seen them before on this stream. Luminous Bonds again? Are you kidding me? Well, I'll make the vampire a 3-7. I'm gonna win the game with Vampire of the Dire Moon, the only thing that's hitting. But no, I go to Costco all the time for like the food. Usually just go in for that, because if I go in for other stuff, then it's not a good time. Not a good time for my credit card, that's for sure. Buy a bunch of stuff I don't need. Oh, in timeout. Are they going to control that, or what? They should just... Why are they buffing that up? I don't understand why they'd be buffing that. Costco pizza is awesome. Oh yeah. We talked about that before on the Friday night stream. That is really good. Good stuff. I just like the pepperoni one or the cheese one. Not a huge fan of the... Yeah, I agree, man. I hate those crabs, too. I do the same thing. Not a big fan of the deluxe one as much. Are they going to play anything? There's just one there, right? There's a bit of a waste, but I guess that's the only play they have. With lifelink. That's getting murdered. Nah. I'll let it through. Let it through once. No. Cancel it. Cancel. On the next step, I'll kill it. I think so. I think they know that unless they've got something in their hand, like Root Snare or Fog, but I don't think they have the play. I think they're just playing it down. Yeah, no, they're proliferating again. How's he getting murdered? That's it. Good game. I really like that deck. I really like that deck. I see some potential in there if I change it up a little bit. If it's got the right matchup. Don't know if I'm ready for traditional rank, though. Why not? Give it a shot. Maybe we'll match up against that mill deck like last time we were in traditional ranked. Alright, let's do this. I'm gonna draw first this time. Whoa, that's a lot of mana. I'll keep that. That's a lot of swamp. Let's see what we're up against. So we get a green out. See if the other color is blue. Nope, another green-white. Oh, charmed cat. Sorry, kitty cat. You can't stay on the table. No pets allowed. Have I watched Stranger Things 3? Nah, I haven't checked it out yet. Have you watched it? I canceled my Netflix, so I don't have... I just watch Amazon Prime as my primary streaming service now. So yeah, let's go with this first. So that'll buff itself. It was a busy weekend. I didn't have time to watch anything. I wanted to get out to see Crawl, and I didn't have any time. Off the table, Scorpion. Nice. What'd you think? Oh. How could you? So let's get this out. Did I like The Others? Is that the Nicole Kidman movie? The Others, are you talking about? Oh, killed my nightmare? Are they going to play anything, or are they just going to wipe things off the board? Oh, the other seasons! The other seasons? I thought you meant The Others, like the movie. I'm like, wow. It was a good movie, but it's a reference from the blast from the past. I haven't seen that movie in ages. And I saw a bit of the first season. I haven't watched the second one either. I didn't mind what I saw, but it, same. I wasn't like too crazy over it. Like I know a lot of people are like, it's the best thing, quote unquote, since sliced bread. I don't see it. The nostalgia is there. My sister loves it. My sister and brother-in-law love it. Murder. Murder. Cancel. Got to do it on the board. Gonna kill something. The other is a fine movie. No, not the Bloodlord. Oh, you're definitely getting killed for that. Oh, I got the artifact. And you're losing your creature. See you later. How dare thee. Oh, I should have tapped it. There we go. Got it. Down to 1. Down to 1. Really? I don't have enough mana because I played that thing. No, it's just a pretty well-made show with a lot of 80s nostalgia. Exactly! Exactly. It's a decently made show with a ton of nostalgia. Just a ton of nostalgia. Right! Right! No kid from the 80s, from our 80s, ever loved being a kid in that decade as much as these kids pretending to be kids from the 80s. No. No. It was not a thing. Not a thing. Oh, there goes my golem. And the bridesmaid. Ah. Gotta wait one more turn. I could... They'd block with both of it, and then they'd have the Peacemaker. I'll just wait. Come on. What I need in here is Sovereign's Bite. I need to put Sovereign's Bite in this deck. Because I don't have enough direct damage. Or I need Sorin to come out. Come on, Sorin. So I can just deal 4 damage to any target and end this game. Because if I lose when he's done 34-1... Oh no. Oh no. Oh, and I friggin' pulled a swamp. Oh no. It had quite a bit of that. Oh, the new one definitely. The new one totally did. Had a lot of that going on too. Which I enjoy. I enjoy nostalgia, but you gotta have something else there. You know, you gotta have something more than just nostalgia. I'm in trouble. This could quickly turn on me. Oh my god. I just keep drawing dead. I'm just drawing dead. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Oh my god. I really rolled my eyes at the Street Fighter reference. In it? Yeah, exactly. No one. I didn't even know what the first Street Fighter was. The Angry Video Game Nerd hit that perfectly in his video covering it. Nobody knew what the first Street Fighter was. It just wasn't a thing. Like, nobody knew what that thing was. Can I please, for the love of all that's nice in this world, get Sorin out on the table before I lose this game? They've got enough damage to kill me. I'm going to have to sacrifice both my things and hope for a good draw here. This is it. This is the game. This is the game. Oh my god. I lost the game. I can't believe this. I lost. I lost the game. How did that... What happened? How did I lose that game? My deck totally stalled. I don't think the oops thing is necessary, bud. I don't think the oops comment is really necessary. I acknowledged that you came back. Wow, what an epic collapse. Oh yeah, same here. I love my 80s nostalgia. I'm not going to, not going to deny that. But I do completely agree that Street Fighter thing was a bit too much. Nobody's playing that game. Nobody. I didn't know what Street Fighter was until Street Fighter 2 showed up in the arcade. Had no clue. No worries. It was just an epic collapse. My deck totally stalled. I had it there. I had it. Like, it was on fire. I'm killing that thing, that's for sure. And I need to get rid of these murder cards and put in Go for the Throat. If it's in this, I think it's in one of the recent expansions that are still considered standard. Because it costs one less mana to play. Each player gains 4 life. I'll take that. Oh, pacifism. No! I don't have an enchantment removal. So I gotta use that murder card. So in my next upkeep, I can get Soren out on the table. Uh-oh. There goes Soren. See you later, Soren. Mistakes were made. Whoops. Misplayed again. It's another misplay. I'm sure the writers were just surfing the Wikipedia one day and were like, oh snap, Street Fighter came out that year. That's for sure. At least I can get Soren back. Let's roll him up a bit. Oh. I don't like this deck at all. This is what I mean. My deck has a lot of shortcomings. I don't think it's made for this level of tournament. Well, I think we're done here. We're done. Go back in and try again. That's all I can do. I don't like that. Don't like that at all. Time to go back to the homebrew. That's the first thing that I said. That is the first thing that I said about that show. I was ranting about it to my sister. I think I mentioned it on like an early DLC stream. No kid from the 80s had all those posters. Like, I had friends that had some of the posters, but not every poster. And it was later, as we got older, not at the age that that kid was at in the first season. And you're right, it's very trendy to hang Carpenter's The Thing in all of the kids' rooms. Like, I had no idea what The Thing was until I got to high school. I had no idea what The Thing was. The only Kurt Russell movie I knew was Big Trouble in Little China. I hadn't even seen Halloween, let alone The Thing. But that was the first thing. When I watched the first episode, I'm like, no one had those posters. Because I think he had an Evil Dead poster. That was it. He had an Evil Dead poster 2 in his room, I want to say. I'm like, no one I knew until late high school or college had an Evil Dead 2 poster. Nobody. Nobody had an Evil Dead poster. Let alone knew what. Exactly. No one liked The Thing. Bang on. Just like, I'm pretty sure it was an Evil Dead poster that I caught, that I picked out, and I saw. No one knew what the Evil Dead was. No one. E.T., exactly. Exactly. I loved E.T. I love the Atari game, even though a lot of people joke on it, and it's still... But no. E.T. totally right there with you. Get the neonate out there. Nobody knew that stuff. I'm sorry. Evil Dead, give me a break. There's no way. There's just no way. Alright, let's get some flying on the table. It's still there, gotcha. Well, that's one of the things that took me out of the show right away. It took me completely out of the show. It's like one of the writers or one of the producers is an Evil Dead fan, so they got it in there. They're like, oh, it's like me as a kid. It's like these kids are supposed to be legit what you were like as a kid, not your idealism of what your childhood was like. What legit. I'll tell you the posters I had when I was a kid. It wasn't that. I didn't have it. I like the first Terminator poster I had was Terminator 2. It was right beside my Guns N' Roses poster. Exactly, cult classics. They're called that for a reason. I know, rant hashtag rant end. But I hear you on both. I back to the game here. I'm getting my butt kicked. I've got no matchups against this deck. Exactly. I completely agree. It takes me out of it. Completely takes me out of it. And they got Nissa out on the table. I don't think so, Nissa. It totally, like, takes me out of the believability of the show. Because these shows are, like, in the nostalgia factor, they're made for us. They're made for the people that lived through that, grew up in that era. And for the writers and the producers not to pick up on that. To figure that, hey, people that know this stuff are going to see that and call it out. Exactly. Mark McGuire and Jose Canseco, like the Bash brothers, Lamborghinis and Ferraris. That stupid robot telephone. I remember like a bunch of my friends. I didn't have it, but like that telephone that was a robot that kind of moved around as well from like Radio Shack. That is what the 80s were. That's what we had. Like I had Transformers posters. That's what I had. Mark McGuire. That's bang on. Totally remember the Bash brothers. Oh, what? They said something else? Well, that was an interesting attempt at a game. Wow, that's a bad matchup. Very bad matchup. Why am I fighting someone who's silver when I'm still bronze? Shouldn't I get matched up against the same level? Just saying. So yeah, that's part of the reasons why I didn't really get into it, don't watch it, and a lot of other Netflix stuff, and I just stick to Amazon Prime. Not that there's like too many really great shows on there or movies, but it's enough to keep me entertained. No, I completely hear you. I had friends that had the same thing, that had Lamborghini and Ferrari posters all over their wall. That's what it was. So yeah, I'll put Stranger Things in the meta tags for this video. Since we had a Stranger Things discussion. Hopefully I have better plays on this one. Gotta get the neonate out there to block that thing. What am I? I'm not putting a buff on that. Why is it prompting me? Yeah, let me just buff my opponent's card. Great plan. The neonate out. We're at the point now where cultural references are being perpetuated by the idea of those references, not by the experience. Yep. That's what it is. It totally is. People today say those things, but they don't have any attachment. They don't. And it's not saying they can't enjoy it. They don't have a proper understanding of it. When they should be focusing on making their own references for their own time rather than living in the past. Because, well, I guess when we grow up to a point, we look to the past, but we also had our own time as well, rather than always focusing on that past. Exactly. I heart the 80s episodes and watches a bunch of the old movies and then no. Oh, I completely understand. I completely understand. It's an inaccurate point of reference because you more than just knowing the movies. And then he sells it to everyone else their age. Yep. Right on. And the only person I give credit to actually being believable in that is not a real character, but the character from Ready Player One. He did the history. He did his homework. I'll give him credit that he knew the 80s properly. He had a better idea than your average 20-something today in regards to what the 80s were actually all about, or what it was like. Turn the neonate and buff that thing. A little bit better. A little bit better. We shall see. We shall see. That Risen Reef card. Unfortunately, man, I think people our age are losing our relevance. Oh yeah, it happens to everybody, man. All good. All good. I completely understand that. Oh, okay. Cool. We were touching on that in the video you're writing. And that's the way it should be. That's the way it should be. That they shouldn't hold on to the that we can't hold on, and they have to be able to do their own thing, kind of. Kids of today, that is. Oh, I hate that thing. Oh, I hate that thing. I wish I could kill Nisa. Oh, and I'm probably not going to make a video on it, but I actually made that list this weekend of top 5 food scenes. Oh, I gotta get mine together. We'll talk about it on Friday. I'll have to put mine together. I'll do a little research, R&D, and we'll talk about it on the Friday stream. Looking forward to it. Oh boy. Oh boy. Not the Hydrocrasis. Oh my god. GG. I'm still wondering why I was matched up against this person. Just attack so we can end. Let's get on to the next game. And here I was all like, yeah, let's get into Constructed. This is going to be great. Another Hydrocrasis? Oh, man. Meanwhile, I'm like pulling nothing. See you later, Nisa. Oh, I forgot they had flying. Whoops. My mistake. Bad play. Mistakes were made again. That's the one I want. Cast down. Destroy target non-legendary creature. That's the one in this... That was in the Dominaria or the Ravnica deck. Oh, that Chupacabra. Ugh, still hate that card. Yes, just kill me. Don't like that. I don't like that at all. Soy, what's going on, man? Thanks for popping in. How are you doing? Alright, let's go back to an older deck. Try Vraska. Not too much either, man. Thanks. Just chilling here, playing some Magic as always on Monday. Yeah, I know. I could use a Chupacabra too in that deck as well. There's a couple changes that I want to make to that deck. Yeah, I'll put the Beetle in next. So I noticed when he says about, it sounds like a boot. That's the Canadian thing coming out. It is a boot. It's a boot time. It's about time. I don't know how to say it the proper way. Or the non-Canadian way, not the proper way, but the non-Canadian way. I'll give it to them, the Red Malkin, actually. Come on, my opponent. It is time. Time to play a card. While I entertain myself. Tapping things on the table. So you hear the news that their Rise of Skywalker is in the reshoots? It's all over Twitter. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be doing videos about it tonight, that's for sure. I streamed today. The normal one I do on Sunday, I did it today, but I only saw the story after we were done. And Mr. Matthews says, I'm sure Canadians make fun of our wacky accents too. Sometimes. Oh, I am sure of it. Oh, and a boot time. It's a boot time Robocop. Robocub, I mean. Called me out on it. Play the Centipede. Maybe not, that we're pretty awesome. I do enjoy belief in oneself, so I do admire that, so can't say anything against it. Yeah, man, they're in reshoots, and supposedly the reshoots are they're set up in in Black Park in the UK. I think they were filming there before, and they did some of The Last Jedi there, and apparently that's a creature. It's gonna go on till September. The sign they have posted, it's an X-wing, is set up. I have a weird feeling about this, and that's always a good sign. Reshoots, minor reshoots, I understand, but apparently the sign says. They have an X-wing set up, and it says that they're going to be reshooting until September. That's a long reshoot period. Considering the movie comes out in December. That's a lot. They're going to take their time. So I don't know what they're adding, but if it's an X-wing, so you got to think it's post scenes. Maybe not. Maybe somebody else, a new character. Oh, there's something to use the thirst on, but they'll get the Saproling because of it. I'll attack. But yeah, that was my first reaction too. I'm like, yeah, Drunk was tweeting about it. Drunk 3PO. Rumor, seeing if there were rumors floating around that Hamill's part of the reshoots, but I don't think it is. For the story that I read on Wired.com said it was just an X-wing, like a effect setup that they're reshooting. Oh yeah, like tons of movies have reshoots. Apparently that last X-Men movie, Dark Phoenix, had a ton of reshoots. Like just a ton. Where pretty much 30% of the movie was done. Rogue One is a perfect example for Disney. That a lot of that movie, a ton of that movie was reshot before it came out. And Soy says, do you think the US and Canada merging is a bad idea? I wouldn't completely be against it. You know, I'm Canadian first, but I'm pro-American. I don't have a problem with the States like some of my fellow countrymen might. And once they started the first movie, the other two had a definite timeline. That's true. That they had to get it done by. Is it really necessary to take that much break? Maybe they're just going back to make sure everything's perfect. Yep, exactly. Movies are saved in reshoots. Especially the first Star Wars. That's in editing. The first original Star Wars was saved in editing. Where George Lucas's sister went in and re-edited everything. Pretty sure it was his sister. Because the movie was a mess apparently at the beginning. But no, I can see that too. A lot of reshoots adding to it. So reshoots aren't necessarily like a bad thing, but the fact that it's already July and it's going to be going on for 2 months. But we're in a digital age as well, so you get the shot done, you get the take you want. You can put it, or Johnson it, exactly. It can't be, exactly, no matter what the reshoots are, it can't be Rian Johnson bad, so. The wife, yeah, sorry. It was his wife. Sister, wife, you know. All family. I knew it was some relation. Don't merge until we get our debt problem solved first. Sounds good. We got one of our own, that's for sure. We're in the same, not to the same capacity, but I think per capita, pretty close it's getting there in terms of the average person. This person is just killing at the clock. I look forward to beating you in the second game. Really? Really? Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I'm up to level 3. In bronze. I still don't know why I was playing somebody that was silver. Tell you what, if Canada and the US merged, I won't be sorry. Sorry? Is that like another accent, Canadian or American? Back to the traditional ranked. That's a case of Rian Johnson's dad, brother, and mom and sister equals roundhead. We were actually talking a bit of Star Wars earlier on my stream on the DLC. We were talking about that whole hopefully clickbait article about Brie Larson wanting to be a Jedi in the upcoming Star Wars trilogy. Please no. No more Brie Larson. I don't even want to think about Brie Larson. And we were talking about Galaxy's Edge, like the ride, Rise of the Resistance. That new ride is being delayed. I'm going to draw first. Uh-oh, I hope you guys were in better shape. We are to a point, but we were before the latest government, the Trudeau Liberals, took over in 2015. They really increased the debt. Like, really increased the debt. Really? Duress off the top? Relax, I'm just like checking your cards. It's all good. It's hard to type out a Canadian accent. Well, if Cub would have his way, I'd be a lumberjack by trade and cutting down trees for a living. She wants to be Samus Aran too. Snatch. 1-1 counter on the Beetle. No more ego, Brie Larson, please. Exactly. So I just can't handle it. Disney will want reshoots in January after 9 flaws. Reshoots after the release. That'll be the new. And then they could re-release it and keep setting box office records, kind of like they're trying to do with Endgame against Avatar. Just keep re-releasing it until it sets the record. How you doing, Red Shirt? But no, we were talking about that. Talking about Star Wars now is just so painful. It's just so painful. Oh, and we were talking about the Sith, the Sith toy, the Sith Trooper. What a cash grab that is. But no, good times, good times. I don't like how this game's going. Especially since I don't have the proper mana. I have to discard. I used to be a Whooper or Youper. Is that how you pronounce it? Youper? Michigan Upper Peninsula native. And still nothing. Oh, God. Oh, man. And I just went up a rank. Now I'm going to get knocked down. Hopefully I don't. But, man, I am drawing dead. Not drawing anything. Oh, I hate that card. I want that card bad. The Knights of the Ebon Legion. Oh, my God. I drew a card. But too late. They totally killed my interest in Star Wars. Good job, Disney. I believed in you too. I know, so was I. When the news broke that they were taking over it, I was like, yes, yes, we're going to get a new trilogy, and it's going to be, they're going to bring back the OT characters, and it's just going to be awesome. Those were my exact thoughts. I'm not exaggerating at all. And that is not what we got. Red Stormtroopers. Kind of sounds like fancy red shirts. Now, that's what we need. We need a red shirt toy. Send in the red shirts. Send them on the away mission. You know when Disney is in trouble is when they keep releasing their movies and the prices keep going up at Disneyland and Disney World. It's true. They just want to cash grab everything. Well, at least I killed one of his creatures. And I could survive one more hit. And I'm dead. You gotta bring the Chupacabra out to finish me off? Really? Really, dude? Just had to pay me back. Oh, and lunch packs are collecting dust at Walmart. That's for sure. All the toys are. That's what I was talking about in the stream earlier. So with these new Sith Troopers or... I don't even know what it is. I used to go to the dollar store, and I still do go to the dollar store and check the section. And some of my earliest videos on my channel are about that, going to the dollar store section and looking at for Star Wars toys, and they're still there. They're still collecting dust. And now I go to the second-hand shops. I go to like Goodwill and similar ones. We have one here called Value Village. It's the same idea. They're there. The same toys that were at the dollar store are there unopened. And they're not, no one's buying it. $15 at Walmart, exactly. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants Rey on their box. Nobody wants Poe on their lunchbox. And nobody wants Finn, even though Finn's probably not on the lunchbox. And he was the one character coming out of The Force Awakens that I was interested in seeing an arc with. And he got totally made a fool of. Totally made a fool of in The Last Jedi. What sucks is they literally can't salvage it. The second movie just destroyed their whole trilogy. It did, you're right. For the hardcore fan, and Soy hits it dead on. Sadly, normies are naive, because I talked to my friend's dad when The Last Jedi came out, and I'm like, oh man, don't you... It's like... because I knew he was a big Star Wars fan. And I'm like, what did you think of The Last Jedi? He's like, oh, I loved it. Because he's a normie. He's not like, he's a Star Wars fan, but not like a hardcore fan like we are. He's not like hardcore, like into pop culture, movies and media, like we are, that we talk in the Fandom Menace and the Fandom Collective, that sort of thing. And he was a big fan of it. I'm like, what? It's like, what exactly did you like about it? But I'm just trying to show you an example that normies will still go, unfortunately. I think this new movie is going to do less than The Last Jedi, but it still will be successful. And that's without stuff in the box office like they did with Captain Marvel. People will still go to see this movie. To give it one more shot. I went to Walmart today. Great clearance deals on Amazon Prime. Secret. Actually, I really liked all the new characters, Rey, Finn, and Poe. I was totally excited to see where those characters were going to go. I was there with you with Finn. I was like, I thought Finn was the out of the three, he was the best new character. Hopefully, Soy. Hopefully. And we were also talking earlier on the DLC about that. It will be better but make less. Exactly. Those are my thoughts. It'll be a better movie, but it'll make a little bit less. We were also talking earlier about the 007 news that James Bond might be getting recast. I think that's total clickbait. I don't think that's happening. I think the character is going... The actresses are going to play a different character, a different 007, a different 00 agent. And it's just a slow news week, so they released that to get some spin. But still. I don't want to play that thing, and I don't want to play that thing. I don't want to give that death touch. I'll put the glow spore out. I lost my giant. Oh no. Stupid phone sucks. They totally rigged box office for Captain Marvel. Yeah, they sure did. RoboCub. Yeah, they didn't nearly do enough with Poe, and he was the best actor. He had a chance to be better in The Last Jedi. Like, when the movie first started, I thought Poe was... That scene where he was, like, leading the charge, and he's like, no, we have to do this. We have to attack. I thought it was great. Until they had the whole, like... They had the whole, like, Yo Mama joke. I was like, what? What? Captain Marvel was Disney's way of buying its stuff up. Hurt the company, though. Ryan has an anti-male agenda. $60 for a warm beer. Yeah, no thank you. Oh, the guy's got that card. He's playing the Gideon Blackblade, where it becomes a 4/4 human soldier, and then it goes back to being a planeswalker. Like, really? Really? I'm a planeswalker, but I'm also... I want to bring out the Lurcher, but that's still not big enough. But I'm getting desperate here, so let's get the Lurcher out. And that's back to being a 4/4. Indestructible. Human soldier, that's the 4/4 indestructible. And it goes back to being a planeswalker. Oh my... Good thing we're having... I'm enjoying the fact that we're having a nice conversation in the chat on the stream, because I am getting my butt kicked here. Like, this game is not going well. So I'm not blocking that because it's indestructible, and that thing has death touch, and it's indestructible. Oh, the stone glare. I don't like that. It's got to be on my upkeep. Going after him. Going after Gideon. They showed that need to attack by Poe a stupidity. But yeah, exactly. They changed it where it could have been like a character defining moment. They made him look like an idiot. Like he's being a pig-headed male. Yeah, I thought it was going to be the Poe Dameron movie, but they had nothing for the characters to do except for Rey and Kylo. So they just gave everyone BS busy work. Exactly. Like the whole Canto Bight. That's all Canto Bight was with with Finn and Rose. That's all that was. Canto Bight. That was just filler. None of that needed to be in the movie. It was complete filler to get to the throne room scene. That's all that was. And GG, but officially kicked. I've never been a fan of Disney since it started buying other things that aren't theirs. I am positive that Walt wanted Disney to compete with other companies, or compete with others. I agree, Soy. I agree. Don't worry, they still liked him. I roll. Oh, yes, exactly. I like him. Oh, so do I. It's like, and I just got my, salty. But no, like, the natural, or the model for a company to follow is something like that, where they would have to be competitive. They would have to be competitive with other companies. And now that they don't have to be, the quality is even going to get worse. They're going to totally, like, just, you think it's been bad so far, they're just going to keep cookie cutting even more because they'll just keep buying the competition so they can just churn out whatever you want. They'll just churn out whatever you want. And that B story was garbage. Oh yeah, Canto Bight. By the time that came on, I was just like, like, where are we? Like, what movie am I watching? Like, what in the actual world is going on here? And Rose literally assaulted someone. Yeah, and caused the death of several of her fellow resistance, let's call it correct, resistance fighters. Not rebellion anymore, resistance. By letting that thing fire at the base. When Finn's whole plan was to destroy the cannon. Which would have again been a huge character defining moment. And it was stolen from that character and from the fans. And from the audience. From the general movie-going audience. That would have been it wouldn't have been like, you know, a nice moment. But it would have been a poetic moment, that's for sure. Compare that to two storylines from Empire. It's embarrassing. Exactly. That's what they were trying to do. They were trying to do those two ones that are like not mirrors of themselves, but counterpoints, like it was in Empire. Like you had the Millennium Falcon trying to hide from the Empire and eventually being having to land in Cloud City, to Luke training on Dagobah. They were trying to do the same thing, and it just didn't work. So done with this female superiority thing. Male, female complement each other, strengths and weaknesses. I agreed, Red Shirt. My wife would lead the charge on that, Red Shirt. She hates gender line blurring. And this whole thing that's come out this week about Terminator, like Dark Fate, what Tim Miller is saying about what they're going to, they're leading up to Comic-Con. I think San Diego Comic-Con is this weekend coming up. And his little news dump that came out saying about, like, if you don't like this new character, this new female, the good Terminator, that you're a closeted misogynist, and that if you're woke, if you're in tune and you're up to date, you'll love this new character, and if you don't, you're a closeted misogynist. So the movie's already setting itself up to fail. Like, how many times do we need to see Ghostbusters 2016 play itself out again? Like, how many times does a movie need to fail for them to get it through their thick skulls that they need to stop cramming social justice down our throats? Nobody wants to go to movie theaters to be lectured. Nobody wants to be lectured. There's a rant. A source of one media of entertainment is destined to fail, especially when the SJW narrative is over. The women I know hate this woke stuff as it's causing problems we don't have between the... Exactly. It's inventing arguments. It's inventing arguments. It's inventing reasons to be offended. That's what it is. It's inventing reasons to be offended. When really 49 times. 49 times. Sorry. Took me a minute to clue in there, so 49 movies? No, thank you. Oh, I think he's playing a vampire deck against me. That one's from Ravnica. Whenever another creature you control dies, Vindictive Vampire deals 1 damage to each opponent. Ooh, I like that card. I want it. We don't allow the word woke in our house. Nice. Nice. That word drives me insane. It drives me insane because it's not a proper word. Like the word woke is not an actual word. Like awoke or awoken or awaken. Like I woke up. That's like woke. I woke up. But you wouldn't say it in a singular. It's not in the phrasing they're using it in. It's grammatically correct. Like, oh, I heard a noise and it woke me up. Now I'm woke. Because you would say, now I've been awakened. Like if they want to say that they're awake and they're awakened to the reality of the things that are going on with the generational gap or with societal issues as they see fit, then that would be the proper use of the term. Sorry to be the grammar police here, but that drives me nuts because they're using it in the wrong sense. They can't blame their politics. They just cannot. Nope. Red shirt, the same thing has happened with racism, but I digress. Yep. This sounds like the move letdowns of the early 2000s, don't it? Seems like so. If I want to trigger my wife, I'll claim to be triggered by something. Yes. Yes. Oh, man. There's another thing. Trigger warnings. Like, really. Oh, murder. Getting a card murdered. Whoops. Except Hollywood literally went after George Lucas. Oh, movie letdowns. Gotcha. Let that sink in. Exactly. George Lucas. All the guy did was all he ever did was make movies. Whether it be Star Wars or other stuff that he's worked on. He was involved in the Indiana Jones series. American Graffiti. Like, all the dude has ever done is make movies for people to enjoy. Non-offensive. Generally non-offensive, unless you're triggered easily. Let's go back to the triggering thing. Non-offensive movies for people to enjoy. That's all it is. Especially the Star Wars trilogy. And prequel bashers, like, I'm not from the prequel era. I'm a little older than that. But I like the prequels. I generally like the prequels. They've got a lot of warts. I'm not going to defend them that much. They've got a lot of warts. But it at least was an attempt to have the same feeling. It was in the same. He was in the same mindset when he was trying to make those, which I can appreciate that. And you're right. To attack someone who's done nothing but bring something that spreads joy to like the moviegoer, like general movie-going audience is ridiculous. Mostly because they're jealous. Let's call it what it is. They're completely jealous that they've never been able to make anything to the same thing. But I'm not sure why Spielberg doesn't get the same treatment. I want to make a joke about assuming gender, but that one is a little too close to home. I got triggered by all the white people in American Graffiti. Well, it was the 50s. It was like Happy Days. It was the 50s. I like to use their words against them when I debate them. Toxic sect. It's fun. Well, I'm just being a toxic cis white male right now, so that's what I am. But here's the thing: I'm inclusive. Like, if they want to, I, I'm not one to attack. I am, but I'm now against them apparently because I don't share some of their views when it comes to movies and entertainment. So if you want to put me on that side of the fence, go right ahead. Because there's nothing that I've said or done. Toxic triggered woke in reverse. Oh, Soren. I want to bring him out, but he's just going to get killed. Where are all my creatures? Like, where did I have any creatures in that hand? Did they kill them all? Oh, there we go. Soren's Thirst, Soren's Thirst, Soren's Thirst, and Murder card. Boom. One, he's Jewish. And two, who doesn't love Spielberg? He seems like a great guy. I'm sure Hollywood doesn't know they are being trolled. But no, both of them. Both of them. I can't talk bad to them because I'm a child. I'm like an 80s kid. Just like you must. Same with you, Mr. Matthews. Like, I can't talk bad about George Lucas. Like, I can criticize some of the things Lucas and Spielberg has done, but I can't talk bad about their character. Unless there's things that we don't know about them, and I'm not suggesting that we do, but I'm just saying that from what we know of them, based on the properties they've presented to us, like Back to the Future wouldn't be a thing if it wasn't for Spielberg giving Zemeckis a chance. All the 80s movies, all the great 80s franchises. Like Troll and Rick Rolled. Rick Rolled. They woke up the audience and it doesn't like them. No, they are idiots. That's the thing. They think they're winning this battle, but they don't understand that the more they keep driving this home, the more normies are going to be like, they're going to wake up to it and be like, what? Like, what is going on? If I watch a lot of Young Ripa on YouTube. He puts some great videos out about this sort of thing, about politics in comics and in movies and just general, and politics in general. The more that they keep pushing it, the more pushback they're going to incur. They don't realize it, or they don't care. It's one of the two things. And like I said, at one time I would have identified myself as a progressive, but I can't. I've been pushed out of that spectrum because I don't share all the beliefs, because I believe there is discourse. Discourse has to happen. There has to be an in-between. Like in Canada, that's all we were ever known as. We were known as generally nice people that were able to see the middle ground. But now, if you say one thing that you don't agree with a certain political stance or a belief system, then you're automatically toxic and you're outside of the spectrum of being associated with a progressive stance. It's just ridiculous. There's no moderate. There's no such thing as a moderate. That's what Canada was always best known for, in my opinion. Moderates. There's no such thing as a moderate anymore. They're not allowed. You have to be on one extreme or the other, and that's not a good thing. There has to be moderation. There has to be a middle ground, and there has to be discourse and debate. There has to be. Open on both sides. Both sides have to be open to it. Lucas is a Methodist Buddhist. George Lucas premiered it, the unaltered VOT a week ago. First time since 95. That's awesome. I didn't hear that. I would have been talking about that on stream today. I don't follow or care about people's religions except Tom Cruise. He's hilarious. Sweet soy. I know. Like whatever belief system a person adheres themselves to, then so be it. Like, I don't know. I do think most people are pretty stupid and easily led by this. Instead of being manipulated by the threat of death, they're manipulated by the threat of mass public shaming. What happened to you guys, Canada? What happened to you guys, Canada? You used to be cool, man. Centrists are attacked here in the U.S. too. Yeah, you can't be a centrist. That's a great term for it. So you can't be a centrist anymore. You can't be a moderate. You can't be. Like, we have a party up here. It's an Ontario party. The local, like a provincial, not the country, which is called federal, which would be like the state, like your state legislature. Oops. I said good game. Oops. Trudeau happened, exactly. Extreme moderates, exactly. They say they're the moderates, but they're not. They're not. They're not. I used to vote Liberal. I was a tried and true Liberal voter before these shenanigans started. I was a tried and true Liberal voter. Like, I would never have dreamed of the day where I would vote Conservative. Never. I would never have dreamed the day. Like, but now I'd rather vote like the far left party than vote the part, because I know they're never going to get in power because the Liberals have the power and they're going to continue to be. I never thought I'd see the day. Trudeau happened, exactly. Oh, Trudeau. That guy. All that guy does is cry and apologize. He's never once made a stance about anything without crying or apologizing. He doesn't have an independent thought in his head. Everything he says is prepared for by his speechwriters. Dude, I think most people go pretty much right down the middle. Shoving all these people to the far left or right is ridiculous. Although it is funny to see them fighting amongst themselves. I'm not even a leftist anymore. No matter how right or left you are, there's always going to be someone who is more so, and then you get booted over to the other side. Yeah, exactly. But just like like Antifa, the far left, and then the Proud Boys on their right, like just they both sides need to calm down. they both need to go back to 1995 and take a chill pill, and just talk it out. But there is no discussion or discourse. The far left is scary. It is, man. Antifa is really scary. Like, I see it here. I see them here. There's vandalism here. Not on a regular basis, but there are like demonstrations where they're marching around and they've got their bandanas on their faces. Like, if you believe in something, that's great. If you hold a far left ideology, more power to you. I will support your stance, even though I might not agree with it from my own personal perspective. But if you believe in that, great. The fact that you need to wear a mask to hide your identity, to push your agenda or your belief system forward, that's where I question. If you don't have the character or courage to show your face because you think the world is out to get you, then we have a problem. Then we have a problem between the Antifa belief system and myself. Just to clarify. I'm left on some stuff, right on the other, but nobody's trustworthy on the left to vote for. I'm against phaser control. You gotta keep them in. You gotta keep them out there. Cloud creatures are everywhere. Like, they are literally everywhere. So I'll kill that thing. Did you see Trudeau was ignored at the G20? He always is. Richard, I think you need to strongly consider releasing the cloud creature. Not sorry. Sorry, I'm voting Trump. Don't apologize, Zoe. If that's what you want to do, that's great. And if you want to vote Republican or Democrat, that's what politics should be. People should be able to believe in what they want without being criticized for the other. And yeah, Trudeau's he always goes to these things, and it's hilarious. He always goes to these summits, whether it be the G20 or the G8, and here the local, it's similar to what the UK has, like the BBC. We have the CBC, which is the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. Same idea, government-owned news media station or news outlet. Every other media outlet shows Trudeau off to the side, no one talking to him, not being even remotely integral to the process, like the meetings going on or the proceedings. CBC, on the other hand, has him like front and center, like Trudeau at the G20 has demanded this or said this or this needs to change. Meanwhile, the rest of the world is like, I am surprised like you even know who Trudeau is. So because like I talked to my co-hosts on the DLC, Cub and Jess, they don't even know who Justin Trudeau is. They live in Europe, but they don't even know who he is. Oh, Trudeau was, yeah, probably crying again. Yes, cloud creatures may have to be released today. Let's do it. Release the cloud creatures. And that thing was on. You know, if you vote Trump, let me just. I'm gonna. If you vote Trump, you're voting for hate, sexism, and racism, and an endless stream of tweets, plus a great economy. Richard says. But yeah, YouTube blocked that because, of course, we're not supposed to be talking about anything. Watching me get a channel strike after this, but hey, I'm beyond. Like, I'm beyond that. Everybody should be able to say what they want, you know, within reason, as long as it's not, like, truly offensive. I do have... But not politics is not one. The left here sticks up for AOC has made... Oh, man. Alexander Ocasio-Cortez. Yeah. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what happened there. Why she's being propped up as this wonderful, the great hope for the Democrats. I'm not sure. I don't see anything in that individual that's remotely inspiring. And she won the nomination. She won her seat, yes, but 6 months before she was not in politics. And we have a lot like that in the Canadian government right now, to truth be told. In this new government, they're actually coming up for re-election this year, which they'll probably win, unfortunately. But that were first-timers. So she's a first-timer, but the fact that she's being, like, pedestaled, like she's this great hero of the left is just ridiculous. She hasn't done anything. She's done nothing. She has no service time. She was a waitress before. Like, spend some time in your role, get some tenure, and then talk to me. Don't just come in here and be like, yeah, this is what I'm all about. That's not going to play. Yeah, she's a different kind of special, worse than Ed. Uh-oh, my job to police that, huh? Where's my wrench manual? Exactly. Yeah, they're going to block anything that's the... Well, that's true. That's true, Soy. That the way that they're handling it and the way they handle themselves and how they handle their politics is securing 2020 for Trump. But what happens after that? And that's not something that... I watch a lot of Amazing Lucas as well. And that's something he's been talking about recently. Like, what happens in 2024? What happens after Trump? Because then there's a possibility that one of their nominees, like the Democrats' nominees, get in there and then, like, here we go, sort of thing. But that's the thing that I've always, even as a Canadian, that I've admired about the U.S. is that there's better checks and balances, that the government can only do so much. The president can only do so much, and the government and the House and the Senate holds them to a point in check where here, if you're the leader of Parliament, you can change, if you have majority, you can change any law you want. There are no checks and balances. There is nothing. Like, if a party has a majority in the House, they pass a bill of law. It is law. It doesn't go to any readings. Like, it is just there. So that is scary for me as a Canadian. The sad thing is that you don't have to be you have to be careful with conversations like this. This is what exactly, Mr. Matthews, and you guys are free to talk about what you want in the chat, but there's words that I can't say on YouTube because I know the algorithm bots are there. They're out there and they're scanning for these words to be said. So if you hear me when I read comments and I omit things, that's why, because I know that the bots are there. They're built with things to talk about. Like, even to the point in Star Wars for a while. I remember Midnight's Edge After Dark. They would talk about Star Wars and they would get their streams demonetized because of the word war was included. What? AOC is a scary precursor to politicians to come. Yep, AOC will be irrelevant in 2020. She has one more year, right? Yeah, and then she comes up for re-election. As Dad would say, freedom isn't free. Military guy. Gotcha. And that's where, even though she's a bit of a firebrand, and she's said some things that haven't been like the brightest at times, Candace Owen is pretty in tune with that. And she said something. She tweeted something like that the other day in regards to the way AOC and the pact. I am up somewhat on American politics based on being so close, located so close. But the bump or something, they call themselves the PAC, the 4 Congresswomen. You have family in Canada. Nice, Soy. That's awesome. Where, man? Is that why you didn't read my funky butt lovin' comment out love? Butt lovin'? I must have missed that. I'd say those words. Yes, Mr. M. Maybe YouTube caught it and I didn't see it. This is going to be an interesting Ontario. Nice, nice. I don't know if we mentioned that last week because I know we were talking about where we were located last week. Okay. Oh, I said no attacks. Wonderful. I gave him another turn. Oops. But no, this if anyone ever watches this stream, if anyone ever tunes in, just as a general magic view, like, oh hey, there's a magic. This came up in my search. That looks like a good show. And then they're gonna like hear our discussions. Like these are our discussions. Like we talked about Star Wars. We talked about George Lucas, Spielberg, 80s, politics. Oh man, we were all over the place. We didn't even talk magic once. Like the first hour was magic. The second hour was all this stuff. Not that it's a bad thing. I just think it's funny for anyone who would go back and watch this video. So I'm gonna have to put a lot of these things in the meta tags for the video. It's like magic, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Okay. I should have blocked that, and now I'm dead. I had to type something that wouldn't get buried. It was another of my failure to launch jokes. Uh-oh. Politics wouldn't have been brought up in the chat a decade ago, sadly, but that's a good thing. Well, yeah, exactly. We would just be talking about the game, or we'd be talking about what's going on, like what shows we're watching, or what new TV shows we're watching, or what movie we're looking forward to. Like, let's see what we would be talking about 10 years ago. We'd be talking about the new Iron Man. What TV shows were out in the late aughts? That's what we would have been discussing tonight. Well, they got to watch for an hour first. Yeah, exactly. They'd probably get bored. They'd be like, this guy sucks at magic. Or they watch it and they're like, all this guy's talking about is magic. But no, he's not talking about politics. We were talking about, Mr. Matthews and I were talking about Stranger Things. There's another thing. There's another tag I'll put in this video. We were having a good discussion about Stranger Things. And if it's really the show that everybody sees it as. I don't know. Lost. There you go. Thank you. Thank you, Soy. There's another show. And we talked about that today in my DLC stream. We were talking about J.J. Abrams. Like, whoever believed that this guy was a good director, because I knew right away, as soon as the end of Lost, that we were in trouble. As soon as Lost ended, like, because it started out great and it finished like garbage. Right away, I knew that we were in trouble. But you guys missed it. It was epic. Yep. Big Bang Theory. There you go. Big Bang had just started. Cloud Creatures. Shrek. Lost. Spider-Man 4. Stargate 1. Let's see what else. Let's see what's... Okay, so I'm googling the 2009 movie list. So we've got Avatar, Inglourious Basterds, Zombieland. Zombieland I thought came out in 2011. Is it really Has it really been that long? District 9, The Hangover. There you go. The first Hangover. So it was 2009. Star Trek, the Star Trek reboot. Sherlock Holmes, X-Men Origins Wolverine. That's what we would have been talking about. The last episode of Friends, I totally cried. My girlfriend loves Friends, and I don't mind the show, but I still think that Chandler is the only reason to watch the show if you're a guy. Yeah, like Joey can be funny occasionally. Oh, and Rachel, Jennifer Aniston as Rachel. Those are the two reasons I would watch the show. Jennifer Aniston as Rachel, and then Matthew Perry as Chandler. Spider-Man 4 would have been talked about since it was production. Exactly, we would have been looking forward to stuff. Crystal Skull, there you go. The Watchmen. There was actually quite a few good movies. Quite a few good movies in 2009. But no, that's what we would have been talking about. We wouldn't have been talking about this stuff. This would have been the New Thing movie, yep. The reboot. Or the prequel, which wasn't the worst. Cub is not a fan. Cub is not a fan of that, but I'm not too hard on it. Like it's not the greatest. It's nothing compared to the original, but it's definitely not the worst. Funny that it was Dark Knight. Exactly. How could I forget the Dark Knight? Exactly. We would have been talking about like Batman Begins would have been out, and then we would been looking forward to the Dark Knight, Diary of a Wimpy Kid. There you go. Keep in mind, I'm there here. I remember that show. I remember that movie. So the Wimpy Kid. That was based on a comic, wasn't it, or like a kid's a novelization, like a book series. There you go. That's the words I'm looking for. But that's what we would have been doing. They're just going to keep hitting me with this thing unless I get a murder card. I'm not either. It wasn't very offensive, though. Kids book. I liked it. Jeremy, I don't assume age. It's funny. Sorry, I was distracted there for a minute. I was reading my phone. My girlfriend was just texting me, and it's funny because she was saying she was watching earlier. Sorry, guys. Just trying to see what I can do here. But about the 80s conversation, she mentioned that she was watching while Mr. Matthews and I were talking about the 80s conversation. And then I was ranting. And now the game ends. But no, it's... But those are all great things we're talking about, guys. And it's only been 10 years. Except for Crystal Skull. I don't know. I don't know about anybody's opinions on Crystal Skull, but that wasn't... It was like an okay movie, but it wasn't a very good movie. But on the most part, what we were talking about, it's pretty good stuff. And compare it to what we have now. The first Incredible Hulk. Or was it the second? Hulk was first, and that was the Incredible Hulk. 1,000 Ways to Die. I used to watch that show all the time, Soy. I used to love watching that show on Spike. But now, compare it to what we have to look forward to now in terms of TV shows and movies. Movies more so. Did she mention how awesome we were? Actually, it was more of a slight of a text saying that if she ever has trouble sleeping, she'll just put on the Magic stream, but not have the sound on. She'll just watch Magic because she thinks the game is boring. But I guess she was listening, so she heard us having a discussion about the 80s. My sister and my brother-in-law love Stranger Things. Because she asked me, she's like, have you watched season 3? I'm like, I never even finished season 1. I saw the Evil Dead poster in the kids' room and I was out. I was like, it's like, deuces, I'm gone. Cowboys versus Aliens, exactly. Hulk predated Iron Man. Because there was the Banner Hulk, like just Hulk, and there was the Incredible Hulk with, what's his name? Who was the Incredible Hulk? Not Eric Bana. Norton. Edward Norton. PC culture would be insane to think about. So 2009, exactly. Open-minded movie, man. Hey, man, how's it going? Yeah, I like Cowboys vs. Aliens. I saw that in the theater. That was a pretty good movie. But now we have to look forward to the latest Netflix original. Like, that's why I canceled Netflix. When we were having that chat earlier, when Mr. Matthews and I at the top were discussing this, I canceled my Netflix because I just can't watch the originals anymore. I just can't do it. I've heard that. I have heard that the monster is pretty sick looking. Edward Norton, thanks. I will probably get around to watching this show. I hopped to nostalgia. Bye, guys. You heading out? All right, Soyman. Take it easy. Thanks for coming in. It's going. I saw all of season 3 of Stranger Things. It was good. Didn't watch all of season 2, even though I know how it ended. Gotcha. But no, we're just reminiscing a bit. Open-minded movie, man. We were talking about Stranger Things in the 80s off the top. Me and Mr. Matthews and everyone else started coming in, and I appreciate that because it got into a great conversation. We were talking about everything. Star Wars, movies, current political climates, and then we were talking about 2009 and the year that was. And if you like the never-ending story, there's a special moment. You're welcome on tomorrow. I might be. I want to start streaming a bit more, like live streaming, so keep an eye out. I could be on. I'm going to try to stream a bit more, but I need to start working on my show. I do a Friday video drop of the horror news updates, and I need to start working on that. That's the main focus on my channel right now, along with these streams. And I want to check that out, the moment you're talking about, Mr. Matthews. Because I am a fan of the never-ending story, that's for sure. Just wish I had a better job. Or tired of working for my father, you know. Gotcha. Okay, let's go to it. Let's go to the attack. That's got death touch. You can't touch the vampire. You're gonna have to block something, and it'll kill your thing. And you're tapped out, so you've got no spells. 1989, 1999, 2009, I bet those were some years. I definitely remember Star Trek, The Final Frontier. It's weird, not a place, but kind of cute. Oh, the reference? I'll have to take a look at. Yes, we need to have more of these conversations, like to this length and this extent, where I'm just focusing on the chat, like we're having our discussion, we're talking together, because I kicked butt in that game and I didn't even do a thing. Like I did nothing. I don't know how I did that well, but I will take it. I will take it. Couple more games and then I'm probably going to sign off for the night. Got to work in the morning, so. I remember how heavily advertised Star Wars 5 was. They knew. They knew how bad it was. If I remember correctly, Open Minded Movie Man is a fan. He's pro Final Frontier. Because I think we've had this discussion on either my stream or other streams before where we've talked in the chats. Because that's where I met Open Minded Movie Man talking in a Bonnie stream in the chat. And we were on a couple together, I think. But out of the original 6, it's definitely the weakest of the 6. You mean the tagline, why are they putting seatbelts this summer? How am I not spending coins? Oh, I'm banking. I'm banking. I really wish you could spend coins to buy that thing, like where you could upgrade to get the unlock track of this mastery chart of this leveling tree that they've got in the new setup for Arena. What is this person doing? Like, is it a connection issue? Here we are, a blank table. You guys are looking at absolutely nothing, but I'm here. Let me just increase the size of my picture on the screen so there's actually something of interest to look at. Gladly will take it over Generations. Well, yeah. Generations was pretty bad. First Contact was probably the best of the Next Generation movies. Because after that, oh man. Nemesis and Insurrection. I just recently watched Insurrection again. Oh my god. It looked like a long episode of the Next Generation. But I will take all of that. I will sit down and watch Generations 5 times. I will do a movie marathon of, like, suggest watch party here. Final Frontier, Generations, Insurrection, and Nemesis before I have to watch any more Star Trek Discovery or this new Picard show that I don't know why anyone would be remotely interested in this new Picard show. I was talking about it earlier on the stream. It just looks so boring. So boring. Who cares about Picard on a farm? We've already seen this. We've seen Picard as an old man on a farm in an episode of The Next Generation. Why do we need to see more? Anyways, hashtag NRANT again. I remember a commercial where Scotty and a couple of other minor members of the cast beamed into McDonald's or something. I don't remember that. Yep, Movie Man, I agree. I didn't like any of those TNG movies. I take it you weren't a fan of Insurrection. No. I was not a fan. It's just they tried to make... It's funny because in that movie they tried to make Jean-Luc, and it was directed by... I'm pretty sure it was directed by Frakes. So they had the whole scene of him with the joystick, like the Enterprise that had the joystick. You fly it around with like a joystick. But they tried to make Picard look like an action hero as well, where he'd never been one before. He'd never been that level of a risk taker, because that's his whole character story arc. Because there's that episode in Next Generation, and I can't remember the name of the episode, but it's that one where Q gives him the option to go back and be young again and not get stabbed, where he doesn't get the artificial heart, where he isn't in that gambling house and he doesn't get stabbed in the back and he doesn't get the artificial heart put in. So he's never that character. And then in an Insurrection, they tried to make him like this swashbuckler. Like he's this risk runner. No, that's Riker's character. Where they had Riker on the bridge. I have no idea what was happening there, but hey, I'll take the win while we talk. But they had Riker on the bridge with the joystick. Like some late 80s, like Atari joystick. When nobody was playing Atari anymore. Everybody had moved on to Nintendo and Sega. But First Contact, definitely. Or Dunkin' Donuts, something like that. Yep, it was directed by Frakes. And that's why I think part of the reason this Frakes directing Star Trek thing is one of the reasons why Discovery has been so poor, and what we have to look forward to in Picard. But this Picard show, I don't know why. Like, what we were talking about, it was this movie, like this poster that came out where it's him standing at the edge of his vineyard with a dog, and he's wearing boots, and you can see the wine barrels, and there's grape leaves growing, so he's obviously like growing his vineyard and making wine, and he's down on the farm, and he's hard-working Jean-Luc. But the dog, I noticed the dog had a collar, and the collar on it had the Star Trek insignia, had the Starfleet insignia. Now the whole story, I believe, is him turning his back on Starfleet, moving away and not wanting anything to do with Starfleet, or removing himself from that life. Why in the world would he have a Starfleet insignia on his dog, on his companion? Like, this is his companion on his farm. He doesn't want to be reminded every day of Starfleet. But anyways, yeah, it was a bit out of place in a Trek movie and a fan. They really pushed the action angle in First Contact 2. Thoughts on Nemesis? Out of the three, it's the one I've only seen once. I only saw it in the theater, so I can't really give it a fair. Like, I remember it being not as bad as Insurrection, but I was like not impressed by Insurrection. But I think it would, for me, it would fall a bit under First Contact. Out of all the Next Generations, I preferred First Contact the most. I need to go back and watch all those movies again. Like, I did Insurrection, and I need to go do the other ones. But I think that's the only one that's on Amazon Prime, unfortunately. Well, Amazon Prime Canada, because we have a limited list. So. Speaking of Amazon, I almost bought The Next Generation and Voyager today. Both full seasons were on sale half price. Normally like $140 for like $69 Canadian. Which is, not quite the same. But I didn't. I'm like, I don't need to spend this. Like, I don't need to spend this. If I ever want to crush the shows again, I'll just get Netflix for a month, because they're on Netflix for now. Another Wrath of Khan remake. Oh, do you mean Into Darkness? Star Trek Into Darkness? Cub and I were going off in that movie earlier because Jez had to step out on the stream for a bit. So we were having fun with that one. I was making the point that it's the second of the two movies. It's similar to the Star Wars franchise, even though the second Star Wars movie was made by Rian Johnson, where Into Darkness was made by Abrams. They're both the second movies, where the first movies were shiny and new, and it was like, oh, this is great. It was like this great feeling to have everything back. Like, Star Wars is back, Star Trek is back, 2009, 2016. And then the other shoe dropped in both The Last Jedi and Into Darkness. It was like, Into Darkness, and that was made by J.J. Abrams. I was like, what am I watching? Especially, the thing that drove me insane about it is how they changed the Spock character, and how they changed the triangle, or the Trinity, which is that, like, the buzzword to say but the triangle character arc of Bones, Spock, and Kirk. Like, McCoy was pushed to the background, and now Uhura is this integral member of the show, where that was never the case. Uhura was never one of the lead characters. She was a supporting character, like Chekhov and Sulu. Even Scotty was a bigger part of the cast, because he would occasionally go on, not just on away missions, he would be involved in story arcs in the original series. Looking back, Nemesis was better than Into Darkness, not to mention even Into Darkness kind of ripped off Nemesis too. Yeah, I need to go back and watch Nemesis, because Into Darkness is still burned into my recent memory as a painful one. Uh-oh. I used that murder a little too quickly. I don't like that thing. They're tapped, so they could block it. I'm going to make him... He's going to hit me anyway. I'm attacking. Stay on the attack. Stay on the attack. I'm not sitting back. Make him block or take the hits. Because I don't like that passive that it's I can exile cards. And at least I got the buff. At least I got the buff with the damage. So I can take a couple hits. I think Uhura would have been a bigger character in character back in the day if they could have. At dawn, here's Rambo Rambarov for life. Epic rant on Star Wars Generations. Thanks. I will check it out. Opening it right now. And I'm going to minimize it before the sound comes on. And I'll check that out later. She had some like important moments, and she probably would have been, but I just don't like the... And it's not just how they handled it. It was the whole baby mama drama thing. Like always trying to teach Spock lessons. Like I want to hear Spock just talking logic. I don't want to see him getting into arguments with his girlfriend. Uh-oh. I don't like that thing. I need another mana. I'm going to sit back and get my butt kicked. I kind of got the impression that they were kind of lucky to get her on the show at all. Oh yeah, definitely at that time in the 60s. Completely understand. And I like Uhura. I'm not bashing her character. I just don't like what they did with the character. If they want to give me the Uhura, or like... And she was outspoken at times. She would talk about... There were certain episodes, like in the Gamester Triskelion, where she was very outspoken. If you want to give me that, by all means. It's just like, I don't like this Uhura. So, I guess I should clarify that. I just don't appreciate this version of Uhura. I don't know about feminize him open my movement. It's just like so many... It just seems like so cliched. It seems like some late 2000s or... Like, it seems like a current day relationship. It's not something that you'd see super in the future. It's like, oh, we have to talk about our problems and our... And oh my god, I got a huge stomp deck forming in front of me here, guys. This is not going well. Like, there's a lot of stomp. I'm about to get stompy stomped. Okay. I need one more hit. I'm going to roll up one. Sorry, guys. Been streaming for a while. My earphones are bugging me. Oh, that's a stomp deck and a half. Oh, jeez. There's a lot of trample. There's a lot of trample. That has summoning sickness. So does that. So there's 5, 11, 18. Oh boy. Oh man. That's a lot of points. It's just a broad stroke version of older characters. Exactly. It's just like an idea of, hey, yeah. Uh-oh. They're going after Soren. So that's got trample. I'm going to let that hit. That has trample. So I'm going to block that. Does that have trample? Oh, God. It does. Uh-oh. Mistakes were made. I killed it. Oh, no. I killed the thing that was giving the buff that would have finished the game. Man, what a stomp deck. It's exactly like we were talking about earlier. The idea of those characters was what they went with. So that made it stupid. At Dawn, I know you love this both. Permaphile. His name is Matt, by the way, and his friend Mike did never grant to The Last Jedi. I'd like to see your reaction. I will have to check it out as well. I'll put it on the list to check out. One about Generations and then about The Last Jedi. Can we just finish the game here, guys? Like, more Mama 2014. Do you think you got enough stomp over there? Negative 75. I'm calling it right now. No, only negative 29. Disappointing. However, the third new Star Trek movie was pretty decent. To be honest, Mr. Matthews, I haven't watched it. I was so turned off by number 2, I haven't watched it. I need one more win. I'm going to get one more win before we wrap up. I want to see what this card is. So we got one more game. Just hope for a concede. Give me a concede so we can wrap the night up. Justin Lin directed that one from the Fast and Furious franchise. That's probably why it was better received, I think, because it has a bit more action in it. Because it seemed like because Justin Lin would bring that, and I gotta say, the Fast and the Furious is like what's the words I'm looking for? A guilty pleasure. I got to admit it. I have to admit it, and Hobbs and Shaw, or Shaw and Hobbs. I think it's Hobbs and Shaw. Then I'm going to see that. I want to check that out. And Simon Pegg co-wrote it, yeah. And he's a huge Star Trek, Star Wars fan. Do you think Tarantino directing a Star Trek flick would help? I did a video about that Open-Minded Movie Man. I don't know. I think from the perspective of it, like the film, it would be, but I just wouldn't want him to bring like the R rating. Like, I don't want an R-rated Star Trek. I don't need an R-rated Star Trek. Just like I don't need an R-rated Star Wars. So as long as, but for his stuff, like if he could do it, if he could pull it off without going to it, but I don't know if he can, because that's usually like his that's where he goes. That's where his movies work the best. Not that I'm against Tarantino movies. I love Tarantino movies. On the most part. Yes, exactly. That's perfect, Mr. Matthews. It would be entertaining. Like, I'm not going to deny the fact that it would be entertaining, but I don't think I'd want to see it. It's not that I'm not pro Tarantino. I just don't want that level of R in a Star Trek movie. But apparently he's a huge, like, the original series fan. And it won't be woke, that's for sure, like Red Shirt says. So I'd be willing to see what they have to offer. I just don't know if it would help the franchise. Klingon, Mother Heifer, do you speak it? Exactly, stuff like that. But from what I've heard, he's a huge fan of the original series. So he could be really true to it as well. He could surprise us. He could really surprise us. And like that article that I was reading in that video, that he wants to be... I think his next movie is the last one he's going to make. Like he only ever wanted to set out to make a certain number of movies. And with that next movie... That'll be the second last one, or it would be the last one. So it would be interesting to see, that's for sure. An R-rated Star Wars might be better than what we're getting recently. Oh man, anything would be better than what we got in the last movie, so... But there's hope. There's hope coming. With the Rise of Skywalker. Which is such a boring title. It's such a lazy title. Just like this Picard show is just... The title of the show is just so lazy. Star Trek Picard. The Rise of Skywalker. Like, what? No MF cloud creatures on my MF shuttlecraft. Exactly. Can anyone tell me why there's all these cloud creatures on this shuttlecraft? Snakes on a plane. There's another guilty pleasure. Speaking of like mid to late 2000s, snakes on a plane. Really? Oh, I hate counter cards. I really hate counter cards. What does James T. Kirk look like? Does he look like a... Son of Darkness was a rumored title. What do you think of that? For the Tarantino movie, Son of Darkness, is that the rumored title? Or for Star Trek? I remember that. I do remember. That's Star Trek. Son of Darkness was the other one with Rise of Skywalker. I don't know. I think they had to go positive on this one. They couldn't go dark like Son of Darkness. Even though in the end it'll probably turn out that Kylo will be fighting for the light. I'm going to bring this in to give the 1/1 buff. And then play another Blood Burglar. Get a little life buff. Yeah, Rise of Skywalker. So I think they had to go with the Rise of Skywalker to give it like a positive end to the saga and to this trilogy, similar to Return of the Jedi. Even though Revenge of the Sith, I guess, was a darker name. But they got nothing else going right now. So they had to try to build interest. How many times are they going to send stuff back to my hand? This is a mono blue deck. I hate mono blue. Another control card coming up. Always with the control. Concede. You're not getting the win. I will concede. Okay, one more try. One more try, then we'll wrap it up for the night, guys. Red Eye, with Rachel McAdams and Cillian Murphy taking place on a plane for the majority, is an underrated thriller from Wes Craven. I do remember Red Eye. I do remember that. I haven't seen it in a while. Not to mention that McAdams is really beautiful in that film. Oh, around that time she was in a lot of the stuff that she was in. She was very pleasing on the eyes. Canadian Rachel McAdams, by the way. I had to throw that in there since we mentioned that quite a bit on this stream. Today, that is, but usually as well. Oh, I hate that thing. Sacrifice and deals 2 damage? Oh no. No. Joy the Tiefling. Oh, get out of here with Chandra's outrage. I don't think we're getting the win here. This is not the matchup. The Canadian city in the stream is powerful. It is. It is. It got to represent. And we've talked about in unison together, standing side by side like we should. The US and Canada, Canada and the US. No. No. I don't like this at all. I've already got Soren in my hand, so I don't want to play that. I think she might have done a better Sarah Connor than Emilia Clarke did in Genesis. She was really really great in True Detective Season 2. I haven't seen her in True Detective. But yeah, I agree. Anything would be better than what we got with Emilia Clarke in Terminator 2. Not Terminator 2, sorry. Genesis. I'm not even Canadian. I even say A sometimes. Nice. Uh-oh. Well, that's it for this game. On to the next one to search. Need to get on to the next game, eh? Go on for one more game and just see how I do in the next one. And I will concede before you get the win. Because I'm salty. You're not taking that win. It's not happening. I will concede on 1 point. I think thanks to Ryan Reynolds, Canada-US relations are stronger than ever. Well, he's one of our best exports, that's for sure. I'll give him credit for that. And an actor I like. And then the other Ryan as well, Ryan Gosling as well. I'm a Ryan Gosling fan, another good Canadian. I actually really like the new Blade Runner. We talked about that before in the DLC stream. Cub is not that much of a fan. But I really do enjoy... if I remember correctly, I might be incorrect. I'd have to talk to him again about that. But I did enjoy the new Blade Runner with Ryan Gosling. There's actually a new comic out, apparently. Jez was telling me about it today on today's show. I'm going to check it out. It's a female-led Blade Runner, a female character, which is common today, but I don't see a problem with it because they're replicants. They're androids, so it doesn't really matter what the gender is, male or female. They're created. OG, what's going on, man? Thanks for stopping. Thanks for stopping in. You missed like some great conversations today. I'm just trying to find one more win. I like him too, and Blade Runner was good. Yeah, I was surprised how good it was. And Drive, yep. Oh man, that movie deserved to do so much better than it, but it did. Saw it in IMAX. Nice. I saw it just in, well, I saw it in the big screen theater, but not on IMAX. That would have been an experience. It looked beautiful. Like, it looked fantastic. And the story was a little unbelievable, but it's Blade Runner. It's sci-fi. I think the plot held together pretty well. I didn't care too much for the new Blade Runner. I didn't care the new Blade Runner, but I liked it much more than the original. I'll have to rewatch. Oh, I love the original Blade Runner. The original Blade Runner is like top 10 for me. So I was super excited about the new one coming out. This is it. This is the win, guys. I see the win. As long as there's not a lot of control cards in there. Blue-black. This could be some milling going on shortly. Oh, it's looking good so far. Looking good so far. The strongest part of the relationship between Ryan Gosling and his girlfriend, I really like that. The story needed an ending, I think. I saw the movie at least 3 times, maybe more, but alas, it wasn't enough. At least Ford's character got a better fitting end than Han Solo did. Oh yeah, sure did. That's for sure. Where to go now? Like, friggin' water knotted. My blood burglar. And yeah, I like those parts, Mr. Matthews. They're... Even Jared Leto's character. He was a little over the top, which Jared Leto always is, but I enjoyed him in that movie. Oh, the murder card. No. Just keep poking. Poking. Maybe I brought you some luck, Pete. Let's hope. And I hate water knots and luminous bonds. So do I, Mr. Matthews. So do I. In the cage as well. I love playing bonds in the cage. Oh no. Not that, Liliana. That's the spark, Liliana. Oh no. -4. Oh boy. Oh boy. What did you think of the alternate cuts of the original Blade Runner? OG, you have what? Have you watched Stranger Things? I loved Leto's response when he said he had 1 million children. Oh man. Oh boy. Oh boy. Another murder card. Kill that thing. Mr. Open-Minded Movement, sorry to get off track there. Are you talking about like the other, like the director's cut and the theatrical cut, like the unicorns and stuff like that? Like the different ending? Slightly different? And I have... Oh, God, not Liliana. No. No, 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 no. Oh, no! So he's probably going to sacrifice those two to draw cards, yep. Sacrifice. Oh, what a combo. Sacrifice to get cards. Passive on Liliana to get cards. Wow. The plays. The plays are real. Gonna murder that. You get to draw a card. Oh, man. How many Death Barons you got in his deck? I hate that Liliana card. Almost as much as I like Nissa. And I don't want to put Soren out to get him killed. Ah, I'm screwed. The game's over. I don't have a play. You want to watch some Quantum Leap with Scott Bakula? I remember that show. I haven't watched that in forever. I like both. I like both the theatrical and the directors. I would probably say the director's cut is preferable. I'm not exactly a banner-waving fan of Stranger Things, but I like this season the best.
Rise and shine.
I'm just starting 3. Season 3 looks good as usual. Oh, God. Oh, man. No blocks. And I'm drawing dead again. All mana. All my creatures. Oh, man. I do not see a way out of this. There's a lot of death touch. All zombies have death touch. There's a lot of death touch on this table. I'm dead on the next turn. Oh, they're gonna sacrifice and draw cards. Well, it's open-ended. The fact that, like, Deckard could be a replicant, and it's up for debate. Oh, really? Dead weight? Dead weight? Are you kidding me? And no. And that's it for this one. Deckard was not a replicant. And as for the final cut, I'm not as familiar with it, I gotta admit, as with the theatrical and the directors. Yeah, you sure did, Mr. Matthews. It's that Liliana card. As soon as you put Liliana out on the board, I knew I was in trouble. I knew I was in trouble. My deck is not powerful enough to take on a stacked deck with Liliana leading it. I've got to rebuild. I got to rebuild. Here we go again. Shall we try one more? I'm like the only non-wrench in here. Yeah, I had a wrench spree on that watch party. Because I'm going to need the mods in the future, so... Like I said, if you want one, Mr. M, like, as the audience grows, I'm going to need them. People that are popping in and out of the streams to be able to moderate. Men going their own way. It's definitely a thing. I don't know why it is, unfortunately. I can understand some of the reasons behind it. It's unfortunate. It feeds back to what we were talking about earlier just before you joined this open-minded that we were talking about toxic discourse and the fact that you can't have a conversation without being marked one way, whether you're an extremist one side or the other, and I think that's really caused the divide. It's helped feed into it. That there's this dissonance between men and women now, unfortunately, caused by this lack of discourse or conversation, like these polar opposites and extremes. Sign of split caused by modern feminists, because unfortunately female nature is universal. Sure, can I do it from my phone? I don't think it's so, Mr. Matthews. I think you got to be on like PC or laptop. To be able to do it. But now everybody, new people are going to come in and everybody's going to have wrenches. They'll be like, what? But like I said on that stream, like I wanted the OG people to have it that had been from the start, and the people that ask as well that I know are going to do like a good job at doing it as well. So now I just need to continue to grow the channel so we can have like trolls to worry about. Everybody's got all this stuff. We have these powers, but not yet any responsibilities. But they will come. They will come. We'll have tons of trolls in the future. The Western society enables women to always be entitled to your resources, etc. I think that's part of it, but I think also part of it stems from, it's a growing thing for sure. I think part of it might also stem from Western women in the Western society seeing other societies where it's where there's less freedom and more control, that they're reacting to that because they can't do anything about it. They can't change it, so they turn inwards and on each other. Uh-oh. Okay, let's kill that big boy. And flying again. There are OG. There's definitely some. I'm sure that there's plenty of good... Oh my god, I used the murder card too early. No, not Galta. Not Galta. So let's block with that. So I'll get 2 lifelink. So I'll only lose 2. Play the swamp. Get another buff. So now he'll be a 6. So that's 14 points. I can take 1 hit from Galta and the Bristling Boar. So I can take this hit and win. As long as he doesn't have any cards. And they both tap. We did it. We did it. We won. We won. Oh, math. You worked out. All attack. Oh, yes. Yes. Finally got that win. Need to always like to end on a win. So message. Let's see what we got here. Enhanced surveillance. Another core set. Claim prize. Let's open these packs. Alright. Got a mythic rare, I think. No, just a rare. Nothing good here. Tail's End, counter target activated ability, triggered ability, or legendary spell. Oh, nice. I like that. For blue, but I haven't built a new one in a while. A new deck, new blue deck, that is. Working on that white-black in this new vampire deck. Cavalier of Dawn. Elemental Knight, that'll go nicely in my white deck. When it enters the battlefield, destroy up to 1 target non-land permanent. Its controller creates a 3/3 colorless token. When Cavalier dies, return the token, artifact, or enchantment card from your graveyard to your hand. 1 more set. Sweet, let's ban someone now. We need trolls first, Mr. Matthews. The future will come. And if you guys stick with me as my channel grows, which I'm sure it will, and I hope you do, then there'll be trolls to ban. There'll be trolls aplenty to ban in the future, guys. And OG, you did bring me the luck. You brought it. And that's the red card, and I never play red. Not mono red, that's for sure. Why do we have trolls here? Not regularly, open-minded movement, but I do get them from time to time. So it's always fun playing with them before we ban them. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up for tonight. Thanks so much for stopping in. Mr. Matthews off the top. I appreciate you joining me as well as everyone else who came in. OG, Open-Minded Movie Man. Red Shirt. The Cubs were here. We had both Cubs. And Soy-Based Jeremy as well. Came in to hang with us, to play some Magic, to discuss lots of stuff. So we had a lot of fun talking about movies that are upcoming, movies from the past that we enjoy, some politics, all around good stuff. So I will be back on Friday with Crystal Lake Fridays. But before that, my weekly horror news cast will be on at 4 o'clock, the Bits and Pieces, where I talk about all the upcoming horror news. That video will be dropping, as always, on Friday at 4 o'clock. I gotta get to work on that tomorrow and Wednesday. And then, as always, after that, we'll be playing horror games on Crystal Lake Friday, starting about 8:30 every Friday night. You know where to come when you need your horror fix, to my channel. Thanks so much, guys. I'm out. I'll talk to you soon, and have a good night.